Alright everyone, so here I am again. It's another Monday, another day for me to start working on this, getting the Ls4 out. Hopefully I'll get more accomplished today than I did last Monday. I've had all week to edit the footage from the first day, so that's ready. And I've been thinking about where I wanted to go next. There's been different ways that you can do this, obviously. So I'm actually thinking about getting back up here to the top and start taking stuff off. And really the main reason is because I'm having such a hard time with these radiator hoses getting access to that drain cog. I've got footage of the previous time that I pulled this motor out, so I think I'm going to tie some of that in because I don't need to drain or I don't need to drop the pan on the transmission, that is, and do any of that stuff. I'm basically going to be, as soon as I pull the axles out, I'm just going to plug them with something. Because the transmission's not getting rebuilt, it's not getting touched, so I don't feel like dropping 80 or 90 bucks on transmission fluid. I thought about dropping the pan and then checking the filter because it did have a rebuild, but I've only put about 8,000 miles on it since the rebuild, so I will eventually drop the pan and I will change the filter out, but it doesn't need it yet. It really doesn't. So I'm looking at more about 15 to 20,000 miles, and I'll drop the pan and check the filter. So right now I don't need to do that, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and start working on this again. So, like I said, I've had all week to think about what I was going to do. The way that I'm thinking is, because in stock form these hoses are so difficult, I actually thought that if I get the fans out of the way, get the battery out of the way, that'll give me a lot more access to be able to get to these hoses to get them off. Again, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble this time with the hoses. And I'm going to be replacing all the hose clamps with standard hose clamps. I'm not going to be doing this, I don't know what they call them, the ones that you compress, the compression clamps. I'm not doing that again. I'm also going to be recovering the radiator fluid because it's only got 8,000 miles on it. So I don't see any point in replacing the radiator fluid. So we'll just have to see. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to get my other camera set up, get the tripod going, and get my audio going. And we'll just kind of work at it from there. Now would actually be the best time to drop the pan on the transmission and let it drain out while working on the top here. So I will definitely tie in some video footage from the last time. It's really easy to drop the pan, no big deal. So I'll just do that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? It's an incredibly cold day today. It's only about 18 degrees in the garage. I've got the garage heater going, which is doing a pretty good job warming it up in here. But I'm definitely going to be taking breaks from time to time to run the heater because it seems to be colder today than it was last Monday. And of course, like last week, they're running trash right now. So the trash guy is going to be driving by here pretty soon. I think now would be a perfect time to remove the motor mount and transmission mount nuts. I want to make sure that the camera is in a good spot so that you guys can see everything I'm doing. Alright, looks like a good spot. It's cold down here. believe the motor and transmission mounts are 15 millimeter. Oh, shit. Safety first. Had a couple of people ask me about my transmission mount or transmission cooler. It's custom made from Ls4 Performance. I've never seen the temperature of this transmission go up above 180 ever. And the first couple days that I had this up and running, I was driving this pretty hard because it was exciting being able to get it back on the road. Alright. Either a 13 or a 15. It's really clean under here. That's right. So you can get access to the transmission mount through the wheel well. You don't have to do it now. But, yeah, okay, so I got some radiator fluid leaking down here somewhere. I'm guessing it's this hose right here. I got the clamp off the hose, but the hose is seized up or stuck on the water pump. I probably should have put a pan under here just in case it did start leaking. It doesn't look like it got on the concrete, so it hasn't been leaking all that much. But yeah, there's fluid, radiator fluid on here. Hopefully it doesn't decide to pop off. Got this ridiculous cheap Frem oil filter on here, and I know I'm going to get made fun of, but I put it on there right after I lost all my oil. So I just put it on there just to get the lifters back up and running. I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money because I knew I was going to be pulling it all apart anyway. And since that happened, I've only had this on the road maybe 20, 30 miles at most. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take care of some of this stuff under here while we're here. Wow, the transmission looks so nice and new and clean, and it looks like I have got a leak. A fluid leak. Transmission fluid is coming out of the axle shaft. Or it could be coming out of the but it's coming out of that housing, the axle at the end housing. Well, when I get it out, I'll look at it and find out if it needs a new gasket. It's possible it needs a new gasket. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm looking at it here just to inspect things. Taking my time. The knock sensor's down here. That has to be disconnected. Or, wait a minute, maybe it doesn't. Shit. You know what? I don't think the knock sensor has to be disconnected because I think the entire harness comes up with the motor. It's been a year, literally 1 year since I've done this. So I'm trying to remember the stuff that you have to take off and the stuff that you can leave in place. I'm pretty sure that this wire harness here stays with the motor. So I don't think it has to be removed. The knock sensor, I'm pretty sure it can stay exactly where it's at. Well, let's go ahead and get these motor mounts. So the audio with this voice recorder that I bought, I only spent about $35 on this on Amazon. The audio is incredibly impressive. It uses, it's uncompressed PCM, but it's actually an improvement over, well, the phone audio. It's actually a nice improvement. It has a lot more depth. So I'm glad that I decided to get this instead of counting on the phone for audio. Might have to go get another container of propane here pretty soon. I'm just about at the yellow mark. Alright. Let's get started here. Can't remember if this is a 13 or a 15. Right now. No, it's a 15. selfie. All right. I said shit and I took a picture. Right. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to disconnect the motor mount nuts that are underneath the cradle. Fuck. I guess it is the cradle. Damn it. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the motor mounts that are underneath the car. There's 4 of them that we need to disconnect. They are 15 millimeters. Disconnect. Shit. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing the 4 motor mount nuts that are underneath the car. They're real easy to get to. You will need a deep well, 15 millimeter fucking trash. I guess we'll set this one out. Trash guys getting ready to come up. So anyway, how's everybody doing? Wait for the trash guy to get through. I sent YouTube a request. I don't know where the live stream went of last week. Last Monday, I had a live stream going. I said it was processing. I had a couple friends actually say that it was there and then it just disappeared. Because I wanted to answer all the questions that you guys were having and read all the comments that was happening while this was going on, but it just disappeared. I don't know what happened. So I sent YouTube a message to figure out, or to find out if they could figure out where it went. Almost. Of course, one of my neighbors has a ton of trash. Alright, I think we're pretty good now. So, let's start this over again. Back under here. Alright. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is check our microphone, because it's all out of whack now. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the 4 motor mount nuts that are underneath the car. They're really easy to get to. They are 15 millimeter. You will need a deep well socket to be able to reach them, and I highly recommend that you use a 3-inch, a half-inch drive socket and ratchet. So if you're looking underneath part right here. Then you'll notice right here there's two. They're deep in here. Okay? And then back here, behind the wheel, so here's your wheel, brakes and so on. Right here on this back side on the passenger side, there's another two right there. These are easier to get to, but I still recommend a 1/2-inch drive with a 15mm socket. Power of editing videos.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the 4 motor mount nuts that are underneath the car. They're really easy to get to. They are 15mm. You will need a deep well socket to be able to reach them, and I highly recommend that you use a 3-inch, a 1/2-inch drive socket and ratchet. So if you're looking underneath her right here, then you'll notice right here there's 2 that are deep in here. Okay? And then back here, behind the wheels, so here's your wheel, brakes and so on. Right here on this back side of the passenger side, there's another 2 right there. These are easier to get to, but I still recommend a 1/2-inch drive with a 15mm socket.
Alright, let's go ahead and get those out. My motor mount, this one that I'm dealing with right now, is broke. Damn thing is brand new. I got it, what, A1 Auto or whatever they call that place. It was highly recommended, and as it turns out, cheap as shit. Fuck. So I gotta replace that while I'm there. There's a guy on the Ls4 Nation. There's a guy in the Ls4 Nation Facebook group who actually builds motor mounts, and I hear, what the hell do you want? I hear that he actually does a pretty good job building them. Yeah, there's some radiator fluid. No. Yeah. Radiator fluid on these. Which means I got a leak somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. Typical, typical, typical. Sucks. Oh, this one's awkward to get to. Jack in the way. So I'm going to probably get a hold of him. Those of you that have the Ls4, you'll know right away when you break a motor mount. And actually, it's pretty easy to tell by getting up underneath the car like this. You can tell if your motor mount is busted. That smells like transmission fluid. I might drop the pan anyway. No, that's right. There's two different sizes. I gotta keep those separated. I'll make a note of that in the video. The washers are a different size. They're still 15 millimeter. But they're a different size washer. Yeah, this is transmission fluid that's leaking out of here, so I'll be eager to get this eager to get both the training and the motor out so I can see where it's leaking from. There are two different sizes. They're the same, I believe they're the same thread, but the motor mounts, I know you guys probably can't see that. The motor mounts are, these are a lot taller for the front. So, I will make a note of that for the video. Oh, same message. Alright, it's cold. I don't care. This isn't working for my lapel mic. That's a lot better. Alright. I'm just going to do a quick annotation on these bolts. Any chance I have to use a tripod, I do it. Because it just makes everybody happier when they don't have to see camera shake. And this Note 8 actually has a zoom lens on it. Leave me alone. Alright. Airplane mode, so nobody can bother me. Come on. I've never once recorded a video in stand-up mode. Oh, God. Voice activated recording for the win. Oh, mic is weird. Okay, so what you'll notice here is that I actually have both sets of these nuts out. There's two different sizes here. They're actually the same thread count. However, these go to the front motor mount here, and the Alright guys, sorry about that. The battery in this thing was low and the charger was not charging. I get set up here again. Alright, so the battery went dead basically. I turned the brightness down on the phone so that hopefully it'll stay charged, but I'll keep checking on it. So, yeah, it says we're live. So anyway, I don't know when it actually shut off, but the only thing that I've done since is I removed the motor mounts, the nuts on the motor mounts. That was the only thing I've done. Now I'm going to start working on some of the stuff on the top here. So, oh, and the reason that I'm not taking the wheels off yet is because I will actually be lowering the vehicle. I could, but I'm just going to be lowering it. You know what? Nah, thinking again. I like having everything up in the air like this though, because it's so much easier to get to. Alright, stick with the plan.